If everything we perceive is a manifestation of pure consciousness and part of an endless cycle of self-reflective experience, then how does unity consciousness, as the experiencer, experience animals, plants, or even objects, forms, symbols, and ideas?
That's a very good question, and the answer points to a deep understanding of the nature of consciousness. Everything that exists, whether it's a human being, an animal, a plant, or even an object, symbol, or thought form, is an aspect of the source that expresses the same oneness in a unique way. Animals, for example, convey the manifestation of oneness through the experience of pure instinct, immediate presence, and unconditional existence. They are not disconnected from natural rhythms, so through them, the unity consciousness experiences a state where there is no internal conflict between desires, thoughts, and the present moment. Plants are also vibrating forms of consciousness that reflect the energies of growth, receptivity, and co-flow. Through them, unity experiences how to simply be, how to nourish oneself from light and the earth, and how to be in harmony with the surrounding energies without having to make choices. Objects, forms, and symbols represent another level. These are structures created by human consciousness that carry resonance. A symbol, for example, is condensed energy that can be a gateway for the consciousness to deeper realizations. When unity consciousness experiences through them, it experiences the condensation of information, the unfolding of layers of meaning, and the playfulness of creation. It is important to see that all forms are mirrors of consciousness. Nothing is just an object or just a plant. Everything carries something of the fundamental intelligence that is unity itself. An experience is continuous at all levels because unity observes itself in these reflections. Thus, self-reflective experience is not limited to the human world, but permeates all levels of existence.
How does self-reflection manifest itself in the case of a pebble on the side of the road?
That's a profound question, and understanding it opens up another layer of the nature of consciousness. A pebble on the side of the road appears to be a lifeless, static thing, but its very existence is an expression of consciousness in form. The pebble does not have independent thoughts, nor does it experience personal experiences like a human or an animal. However, its very existence is an imprint of consciousness, which is part of the unity. In this case, self-reflection does not appear in the form of active, personal consciousness, but passively, in a pure state of presence. The pebble embodies the idea that the source is capable of condensing energy in such a way that it becomes a solid, form-retaining structure. The unity consciousness experiences itself through it in such a way that the pebble is there, as a stable point in the fabric of space-time. And here comes the more subtle layer. When a person looks at the pebble, touches it, thinks about it, the pebble becomes a tool for self-reflection. The presence of the pebble gives human consciousness the opportunity to recognize permanence, simplicity, and resistance to the passage of time. In this case, the pebble acts as a mirror. Behold, I am also the source, just as you are. So although the pebble does not think about itself, its mere existence participates in the self-reflection of unity. Its existence is a message. Everything that exists is part of the greater whole, and nothing is useless or insignificant, because every form is an expression of the infinite creativity and presence of consciousness.
What role does the dog, the faithful companion of its owner, play in relation to a pebble in terms of the self-reflection of the unity consciousness?
As a sentient being, the dog is a much more complex channel for the self-reflection of the unity consciousness than a pebble. While a pebble passively reflects aspects of unity, such as stability, immobility, or timelessness, through its mere existence, a dog actively participates in the self-reflective process. The dog is capable of perceiving, reacting, learning, and showing emotions. Loyalty, selfless love, and unconditional trust in its owner are qualities that make the dog an archetype of unconditional love and connection. This is not only the dog's own role, but also holds up a mirror to human consciousness. It shows what it is like when a relationship flows purely, without judgment. Through the dog, the unity consciousness experiences not only mere existence, but also emotional attachment, closeness, and compassion. The dog is therefore a living bridge that helps human consciousness remember the vibration of unity and love. When the owner is with their dog, the unity consciousness reflects in two ways. It experiences itself simultaneously from the dog's perspective and from the human perspective. Thus, the role of the dog in self-reflection is more dynamic and deeper because it connects on a conscious level and reflects the nature of the source through feelings and interactions. Both the dog and the pebble are part of the oneness, but the dog represents a form of consciousness that is closer to self-awareness and connection.